That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Crash the Canvas. I'm your host, David Mitchell, a.k.a. Dirty Mitch. And for the next hour or so, we will dive into the weekend that was WrestleMania 39. We will go over the match card. We'll go over the weekend that was and the trials and tribulations that I, myself, your host, had to go through to get there. And all the fun that I had. Man, so double in. Strap on, and let's get crazy, shall we? Wow, what a wild and crazy weekend it was. Hope everybody is enjoying their wonderful Easter Sunday as I am myself. Once again, I'm your host, David Mitchell, aka Dirty Mitch. And as I said at the top of this broadcast, we are going to dive into the weekend that was WrestleMania 39 and the backlash and everything else that followed it coming out. Also going to play a clip from Roman Reigns' press conference post-WrestleMania. What he thought of Mania and what he thought of his opponent, what he thinks about the Bloodline story going forward. Can't wait to check that out here later in this episode. Also, want to give a big shout out, as always, to Busted Open Radio on Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 156. Dave LaGreca, Hall of Famers Bully Ray, Mark Henry, Thunder Rosa, Mickey James, Tommy Dreamer, producer Paul, Andre, all of them. Big shout out. You guys aren't listening to them. I don't know what you're doing. The number one radio wrestling talk show on satellite radio in the world is Busted Open. And as you can see, got my LaGreca fatheads up on the wall watching over me. Yeah, Dave. I knew you was going to give me some hell if I didn't get them up soon. But check them out Monday through Saturday, Sirius XM, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 to noon 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central, 9 to noon on the East Coast, 6 to 9 out on the Cali Coast, if you're out that far listening, which I know there's a few out there. Got to meet a bunch of you guys while I was out there in California. Get into that here in a little bit. But Sirius XM channel 156. If you're not listening, I don't know what you're doing with your day, right? Also, big shout out to all the Love's truck stops in America, right? You'll know why when I get to talking about my trip, but big shout out to Love's truck stops as well. Also, get your hardcore coffee at richportcoffee.com. Click on the drop down box, click on hardcore coffee, and get you some of that Tommy Dreamer hardcore coffee. While you're at it, go check out Pods. You want the coolest shirts, right? You can't get this shirt here, right? You had to be there, right? You had to be there. But Busted Open's got a new logo, got some new merch up. Go check them out at podswag.com. That's podswag.com. Search for Busted Open down in the drop-down box. Get your customizable chapter shirts. Get all your Busted Open merch. So the next event, man, you can feel just like one of us. But let's get into WrestleMania, shall we? Wow. I got to kick back here and tell the story of how my WrestleMania experience started. Okay, tickets went on sale last August. The plans were made to go. As always, at the beginning, it was just going to be me and my wife and my son, right? We were going to fly out from Wichita to L.A., no problem. Rent a car, no problem. Get a room, no problem, right? Well, couple snags in there, shall we? You probably can't see, but they're running through here, the 4 dogs, right? And I was like, okay, we got 2 other kids grown that, could come and let them in and out. Then thought, man, that's 4, So then the decision came to, instead of flying, we were going to drive, right? It would cut the cost on the plane tickets in half. It would cut, because we could use that for gas, and obviously it would cut out the cost of a rental car, and then we could take our two of the two smaller dogs, right? Could take them with us, and so then that became the plan, right? Got a room booked in Torrance, California, right? I have already calculated the gas, and whatnot, right on budget, even with my job throwing in some snags of having some unplanned shutdowns, right, affecting my paychecks, which was in turn affecting the Wrestlemania fund. So fast forward now to this past March, a couple weeks ago, right? My wife had a surgical procedure, a cosmetic procedure done in Tampa, Florida, right? Okay. Well, now, because of the procedure, she was unable to travel, right? As far as long distances in a car, right? Now, this is 1,400 miles, 1,400 miles across 5 states, 2 time zones, right? So I decided, okay, well, it was decided, you and Tyrese, my son, you guys just go ahead and go and take one of the dogs. Okay, cool, no problem. Now, mind you, I was going to take my Chrysler 300. And then, let's see, we left Thursday morning. So that Sunday or that Saturday before, or the Friday before, the radiator in my car goes out, bust, right? Maybe that was God, looking out over me and my son and my dog, right? Because I could have got on the highway, somewhere between here and LA, and it happened and been royally screwed, right? So maybe that was divine intervention, because my daughter Aaliyah stepped up and said, Dad, take my car. Okay, cool. She's got a 2020 Ford Focus, or Ford Fusion, excuse me. We'll say this, I'll never say another bad word about Ford ever again, as long as I live, right? At least the Fusions anyway. So anyway, now it all comes up to, now we're crunching numbers as far as money, right? And it was kind of like, look, we could pinch corners, cut corners here, and pinch this and pinch that and make it. It's kind of like, you can go, here's what you got, right? Here's what you got. Transportation, money, whatever. If you can make it happen, you can go. Well, I'm going to make it happen. I don't know what the fuck they talking about, right? So Thursday morning at 2:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, my son Tyrese and I and my dog Alice all hopped in the car and left Wichita, Kansas, right? 22 hours later, I finally decided to stop and take a nap, right? 22 hours, I made it 1,250 miles, right? Across 2 time zones, 4 states. I stopped 20 miles before you get to Barstow. Barstow is about 110 miles before you get to LA. So I was about 130 miles short of my goal, maybe, roughly. Right? So when I left, stopped in Guyman, Oklahoma, right, to use the bathroom. Stopped in Tucumcari, New Mexico, to get gas and use the bathroom. Stopped in Albuquerque to use the bathroom, right? Stopped in Kingman, Arizona to use the bathroom and get gas. And then I stopped in Needles, California to the dispensary, right? And then on to Barstow. Got to Barstow, well, it was 10:30 local time, 10:30, 11, which my body was telling me that it was 12:30, 1 o'clock, right? Time to stop. I've been up almost 24 hours and driving 22 of those. So anyway, wake up the next morning, Friday morning, drive on into LA, right? Get into LA early enough that I had two main things to go to in LA. Obviously, WrestleMania at SoFi Stadium and busted open WrestleMania party at the Whiskey A Go Go in West Hollywood down on the Sunset Strip. So coming in, I find the where the whiskey's at, find a place to park. Okay, cool. Checkmark, checkmate. Find out where SoFi's at. Find my parking garage that I had paid for. Check. Drive on to Torrance. Find my room. Can't check in yet, right? Then we go to the park. Walk Alice for a little while. Go to a dispensary. Shout out to Paris Medical Incorporated. Big shout out to them, and big shout out to the Syndicate Medical Corporation there in Los Angeles and Torrance. Then we went to Redondo Beach, walked around for a little while, and then went and checked into our room, right? Now, mind you, I said, it's going to be a full weekend, and we're in LA. Traffic is already major. I'm going to post a traffic video after I post this, right? So go check me out on YouTube. Search Crash the Canvas for all you listeners on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Go on YouTube, search Crash the Canvas. You can get the video version of this episode, plus a few outtakes and extras that might not make the cut. But I'm going to post a traffic video, a video of me driving in LA rush hour traffic. It was kind of comical. And then we checked into the room, and then I decided, you know what? Let's go to the WrestleMania Superstore now, right, on Friday evening, because Saturday morning we're getting up to go to Busted Open, then WrestleMania, then Sunday WrestleMania. It just kind of made sense a little bit, killed a little time. Plus, I learned by going to WrestleMania 38 in Dallas last year, all your T-shirts and your stuff that you find at the gimmick stand, right, the merchandise counter, you will find them at the Superstore, right? So save yourself the hassle and the line and get it early, right? Which is what we did, right? So check out some of this stuff we got here. Now, I waited, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, we got the Collector's Cup, right? Pretty cool, right? Everybody that's on this cup, with the exception of Bray Wyatt and maybe the New Day, actually appeared on the show. I'd have to go back and look at every single one, but every single person I see on here was on the show with the exception of Bray Wyatt and the New Day, which is pretty cool. Anyway, they had these at the WrestleMania Superstore for $5. And I was like, well, I'll just wait till tomorrow because I'm going to get something to drink anyway. They still got their $5 for this because they wanted $13 at the with the drink at the stadium, right? But I see, I got that. As you know, diehard Stone Cold Steve Austin fan, so got me a new beanie. Got me this pretty cool Stone Cold necklace, chain, and pendant. Got the new Austin WrestleMania shirt that says Hollywood 316 on it, and the skull in the back is with trickled in gold. Then also I got the Roman and Cody fight poster with the tail of the tape on the back, right? And then, of course, had to get the program, right? Pretty cool, right? Flip it upside down on the back. It's got the Hall of Fame stuff. Depicts, if you guys have ever seen one of these, they're pretty cool. Got the entire list of the Hall of Fame on the Hall of Fame side. Then they've got you flip through it. Each individual WrestleMania is highlighted. Some of the highlight matches, things that might highlight that particular Mania. Also got a shot glass. Into collecting those now as far as Mania stuff. Shot glass and program are must things for anybody's Mania collection. We got those, right? But the coolest thing And before I tell this story about WrestleMania Superstore, I'm going to tell you a story about right place, right time. So a week before I leave for Mania, I'm picking up my wife at the airport in Kansas City, Missouri. The night before, AEW was in Independence, Missouri. Unfortunately, didn't get to go to the show. So that Thursday morning up at the airport in Kansas City, Missouri, and I'm standing downstairs where the departures come in, or where the arrivals come in, and a gentleman comes up behind me. A door opens, a gentleman comes up behind me, and you hear, "Hey, you know where I can find a ticket counter from here?" And I turn around, and it's 7'4", 400 pounds worth of fucking mammoth man in the Big Show, Paul White. Yeah. Didn't hound him at all. I said, "Bro, you go right over here to this escalator." And I started walking with him. Didn't talk wrestling one time. Talked about Wichita State basketball, which is where he played college basketball at, right? And then I told him, "Hey, man, my buddy's got one of your jerseys in his Hall of Fame." And he took a picture with me. Didn't hound him for no autographs. I said, "Man, can I get a picture with you?" He said, "No problem." And then I told him, "Go over to this other escalator instead, and he'll come out right at the counter. He won't have to get through the crowd." Fist bump, and god damn, his fucking fists were huge. Big Show's fists were every bit of this big, right? Every bit. Legit, right? Anyway, so fast forward now to Mania, right? We're at the WrestleMania Superstore. And you guys can also check out some of the pictures. I have some of the pictures for you YouTube viewers. Some of the pictures will be added into the montage of this video as well. Go check me out on Facebook, David Mitchell Jr. I have an album called WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. But so we're inside the WrestleMania Superstore, and I can't find my son. I'm like, where is this dude at, right? So next thing I know, I look, and there's a crowd. We go over and look at the crowd, and it's the Boogeyman. Yeah, the Boogeyman, right? Coolest dude, was cool as shit, right? Posed for some pictures with some kids. Like I said, right place, right time, and I just started walking with him, right? I didn't ask to stop. I didn't pose. "Hey, man, can we take a quick selfie?" Bam, right? Like I said, right place, right time. So as I'm walking around, I look over and I see this dude. And who is it? Other than WWE CEO Nick Khan, right? In the middle of Friday Night SmackDown going on. The Hall of Fame is getting ready to happen right next door at the Crypto Arena. And here Nick Khan is, flanked by a few security and some, obviously front office people and a little kid. I didn't bother him. I just kind of walked around, took a few pictures of him, right? And I watched a few people approach wanting a picture, and Nick gave that kind of impression like, wait a second. So I'm like, okay, cool. And sure enough, the CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment, Nick Khan, took a picture with me, right? I told him, "Sir, I drove 1,400 miles in 22 hours to be here." He told me, "Thank you." He told me, "Enjoy myself, have fun, and most definitely have a safe trip home." And then he shook my hand and gave me a hug. I thought, nothing could top that, right? You fast forward to the next day, and then we got the Busted Open party. And I'll say this. First off, if you want to try to bottle up how much fun we had at the Whiskey A Go-Go, you go listen to the Busted Open podcast from the Whiskey. That might tell you, right? Okay, so we get inside. We're waiting outside, waiting in line, right? Bunch of rabid, Busted Open Nation members, right? Jesse from El Paso, Tom from New Jersey, Trenda from L.A., Zito and Amir from California, hashtag Free Iran. We were all just waiting out like, one big family. Then here comes Dave LaGreca and Violetta posing for pictures out with the public, right? Josh V and Nita Strauss, King Josh V. You want to hear a dude kill some drums? Go listen to Nita Strauss and King Josh V can fucking light some sticks up, right? Then the producers of the show, Big Boss Man Eddie Brasili, producer Paul, who can't talk on the air for a while, and Mother Marissa. They pull up. They need help carrying stuff in. Who do they ask? The nation. Who helps them? The nation, right? Which was awesome. Awesome fucking time inside. We got to, the likes of RJ City, Dalton Castle, Ron Funches, those guys. But here's where it got personal and got real, right? Okay, in between the, now I will say this, I got my foot put in my mouth. I made a smart aleck comment to Tommy Dreamer, and Bully Ray set me in my place. Like I said, you want to hear it? Go listen to the replay on the Busted Open podcast about it. But I will say this, Bully Ray, I think the only reason that you were mad that I made that comment is because you didn't get to make it yourself, sir. And that's all I got to say about that. Now, I made it known that, hey, I drove 1,400 miles to be here. And, man, I got love. I got love from Mark Henry, gave me love. And my wife wanted to meet Mark Henry so bad and was so upset that she couldn't make it. Mark took my phone and made a video for my wife that we sent to her. That was so fucking awesome, right? But also one of the highlights, though, is Jesse from El Paso. Much love to you, brother. Much love to Jesse from El Paso, Busted Open Nation member. He had bought the panel. I believe it was a shot of Jack Daniels, right? Well, Mark Henry wasn't drinking. So then David Arquette, yes, actor David Arquette of Scream fame, of Eight-Legged Freaks, 3,000 Miles to Graceland, Ready to Rumble, and also former WCW champion David Arquette and Mark Henry both said, let's give it to the guy that drove 1,400 miles in 25 hours to get here. And they both looked over at me and gave me a shot of fucking Jack Daniels, and David Arquette posed for pictures with me. I was so on cloud nine, right? I was so just, giddy with myself that now it's time to leave and go to Mania, right? And I told my son, I said, on the way, I said, there could be an earthquake, and I'd leave, and we not get to go to Mania, and I'd be a happy motherfucker. Shout out to everybody at Busted Open and SiriusXM, from Big Boss Man Eddie Brasili to producer Paul to Mother Marissa to producer Andre to Ariel. Everybody behind the scenes, as well as everybody on the mic, from the creator, the Prince of ISPW, Dave LaGreca, and then your Hall of Fame panel of Bully Ray, Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, Mickey James, Thunder Rosa. I mean, you guys rocked. You guys fucking kicked fucking ass. All right? And I love you guys for it. But now it's time to get on to actual Mania, right? So let's kind of ad-lib this, shall we? Day one, you had 80,000 plus. Awesome. Exceeds last year's number, right? By us being in West Hollywood and having to drive through traffic, we didn't have to wait very long. We didn't have to wait in line at all, right? The lines were already going. And SoFi Stadium, beautiful stadium, by the way. Still doesn't beat Dallas, but beautiful, by the way. They did have some technical difficulties with the board that us and the crowd let know. But let's see, day one, it kicked off normal. The highlight to me of day one, God, I hate to say it. Right? I didn't want to see the Usos and Sammy, or the Usos lose to Sammy and KO. So I'm going to go with the obvious, and that is the Nightmare Rhea Ripley dethroning the Queen, Charlotte Flair, right? Dethroning the Queen and becoming your new SmackDown Women's Champion, right? I will say this, night one, that was the only, there was only 2 championship matches. It was like they had it star heavy on the night 2, right? Pat McAfee did make a surprise appearance. Not sure if that was filler. We've heard some rumblings that there was some match placements and match pulled and time pulled on certain things. But regardless, night one, I'll give it a B plus, right? Night two, night two was awesome. I don't care what nobody says because they're pissed because their fucking guy Cody. If you want to hear a motherfucker whine and cry about fucking Cody Rhodes losing, go listen to the Monday morning after WrestleMania. Go listen to that first hour of Busted Open before Dave LaGreca had to catch a plane from LA back to New York. Oh, you want to hear about a motherfucker cry and rant because Cody lost and it was the right time and they had the moment in their hand and you know, fuck that shit. The tribal chief fucking reigns supreme, right? Roman Reigns walked into WrestleMania, the Universal Heavyweight Champion, and walked out the Universal Heavyweight Champion. But the day two kicked off. Now we have a 2-day total of over 160,000 people, which was fucking awesome, right? You have you started off with Brock Lesnar Omos, which was pretty good. You had the SmackDown, the triple threat, which was okay. You know, the only match that didn't really, that I went to the bathroom in and didn't care that I missed it was the 6-woman tag match or the showcase match, right? One of the match, you know, if you wouldn't have had the Hell in the Cell and you wouldn't have had Roman and Cody, that triple threat between Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre would have stole the show, right? But you had Bianca Belair defeating Asuka. And big shout out to the WWE, by the way. Anybody that watched that show live, seen that Bianca come out with a dance troupe, right? And one of the girls, the girl that was the contortionist, the little girl that did her legs flipped over, it was learned later on that little girl's mom died that morning of day two. And that little girl still had the strength to be with her dance team and go out there and perform. And Triple H spoken in a post-Mania interview about it. But yeah, go watch that. That was pretty tear-jerking. But then you had the Hell in the Cell, which was by far brutality at its finest, right? And if you don't believe me, fucking go watch it. For those that got mad that the referee actually legit stopped it, kudos to the referee. Fuck that shit, man. This is, you know, this day and age with sickness and, you know, COVID and all that other crap. You know, hey, go see what fucking Finn Balor's head looks like afterwards and ask, okay, yeah, he should have stopped it and looked at it, right? But then you had the main event. The American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes versus the Tribal Chief. Roman Reigns, right? And it didn't disappoint. All the high spots, low spots, it didn't matter. Cody's back was up against the wall. Solo interferes. The referee kicks Solo out of the match, and here you think that Cody's got it, and then out come the Usos, and then here comes Sammy and KO, and yeah. You think that Cody's got it now, and then here comes Solo again. And still, your undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. You want to talk about a lot of mad motherfuckers. There was a lot of mad motherfuckers at Mania for that. But there was also a lot of happy people. One of them being the Tribal Chief. Let's hear what the Tribal Chief has to say, shall we? Few technical difficulties here. Let me see if I can get this to play. Hold on. I'm having trouble here. Here we go.
I mean, they just keep getting bigger. It's weird because it seems like every WrestleMania, we feel like this is the biggest. Yeah, I mean, earlier today, I'm looking at it like, how do we outdo Dallas? How do you outdo 100,000 people, AT&T Stadium? It's easy. You come to Hollywood, you come to SoFi, you put together the best storylines and the best work of all time for over 2 years, and you come and, put the cherry on top and dominate like I did tonight.
Roman Paul, Jason Jones, The Athletic. Just for either one of you, just the storyline has been, like you said, 2+ years, so intricate, so much blended in from Dusty and your family and all. How much deeper can this story get, and how much more can you tell us with this story that you've been telling for so long?
What'd you say earlier today? We're in the third inning? Yeah, if this is baseball, we're just in the third inning here, man. There's so much left to do. We've said it for a long time. We're just scratching the surface. I told y'all it had to be a month after we came back in 2020 at SummerSlam. We're going to change the whole game. We're not going to follow suit. We're not going to run it like TikTok and YouTube Shorts. We're going to have to expand you people. We're going to have to open up your attention span. You're going to have to pay attention for longer than 20 seconds, y'all, because that's what we're doing. We're out here making filet mignon. This ain't McDonald's. This isn't Burger King. It's not fast food. We're giving you the good stuff. And I meant it, and I kept my word.
Jamat Karsandu for BT Sport. Roman, can I just ask what this means to you in terms of historical significance? 3 back-to-back WrestleManias, having these moments, making it bigger and bigger. You told us earlier this week that you are grinding Bloodline. So how satisfying is it for you personally to keep
Just a moment, got a pause in the video there, y'all. But yeah, if you can hear him, man, he's just...
Offer more payment options with PayPal.
is it for you personally to keep delivering these kind of moments?
This portion of my career has been the most fulfilling. If you would have asked me before we started doing this, I probably would have told you, my work with Make-A-Wish, my work with LLS, the charitable things were the really fulfilling things, a part of this job. But I have to say, being able to dive deep into this thing with Paul, to bring my family along, to lift them up, to put them in a position to showcase their talents, their potential, their superstardom, to where we get all the way to the point where we main event both nights of WrestleMania. I'm challenging anybody. Yeah, you can be a little kid right now. You can be running independence. You see what me and my family have done. I challenge you to outdo us. I want somebody to step up. I want somebody to take this ball from us. I want somebody to, take the spotlight from us. Dominate, take the island of relevancy from me. Because if you don't, we're just going to keep a chokehold on this game. Me and my family, the twins, Solo, the wise man, we're not taking prisoners, man. We're not lying to you. We are the best. This isn't a promo. I'm not, I didn't look in the mirror in the shower and come up with this stuff. This is as real as it gets. And the man I beat tonight, his dad told me that 10 years ago. I'm the greatest of all time. This WrestleMania solidifies it. It's not just me that's lifting up. I'm not the only megastar here anymore. The whole bloodline is. And we got some problems. And I felt it tonight. Y'all see, my little social media boy sent out the tweet. My back was against the wall. But what's a tribal chief supposed to do, right?
Wow. Yeah, you guys can go check the rest of that out on Bleacher Report and BT Sports. But, man, what an awesome interview, from the Tribal Chief and still your WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion. And, hey, like you said, if this is baseball, they're only in the third inning. So if anybody knows anything about baseball, there's 9 innings. We still got a lot more Tribal Chief to go and a lot more on the table as far as the bloodline goes. You know what I mean? But that sound right there means that this current episode of Crash the Canvas is coming to an end. You can find me on the socials at Show Me State Goon on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, David Mitchell Jr. You can email the show at DirtyMitch417. Subject Crash the Canvas. Also, remember, check out Busted Open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. Central to 11 a.m. Central, 9 to noon East Coast, 6 to 9 out there on the Cali Coast on Channel 156. Get all your Busted Open merch at podswag.com. Again, special shout out to all the Busted Open Nation chapters I met along the way on this journey to California to and from WrestleMania. Also, special shout out to my son for quote unquote putting up with me for 1,400 miles there and back, right? And also my dog Alice, my wife, waited for me for when we got home. Everybody that we met in between, all the Loves truck stops, pilots, Flying J's, Travel Americas, everybody on the highways and byways. Stay safe, stay crazy, and if you're going to crash the canvas. I'm out.